4-2 formation. Red change now, we go racing for the first time this season. 3 hours of GT action, it's go.
It's very tight as they come down. Group of cars coming in, this has all got trouble written all over it. This is G3 cars.
Drop downhill, they head towards the Aqua Minerale. Imola, of course. There's another one off through the gravel. As wide as possible as they drop downhill, put it back from the inside line. Yes, he did. Through he goes.
Well, good evening everyone. Welcome along to round 3 of the Apex Online Racing Sprint Cup Championship. This is Tier 2, this is Tuesday night, and we are in for a mixed weather 90-minute race here at Misano this evening. So just coming towards the end of the practice session, and soon everyone will be jumping into the pits, prepping themselves for qualification. But just while there's a few cars still out on the track, let's jump on board with a few of them. So Nathaniel Shirley at the moment, car number 45. Let's have a quick little look and see how they got on with last week. Nathaniel Shirley, oh actually it was a DNF last week, but a 4th place in round 1, currently sitting at 8th place in the overall championship. So hoping to do a little bit better this evening. We saw last night in Tier 1's race that the Aston Martins made a lot of ground. They weren't the fastest in qualifying, but were very, very good in the actual race themselves, especially with the changeable weather. So fingers crossed we might see something a bit similar here this evening. I imagine Nathaniel will be hoping for some decent weather as well. So actually car number 45 is the only car left out on the circuit at the moment. Everyone else already dived into the pit, so as soon as he's in, I would imagine we're going to go live with the qualifying, just waiting for that server reset, and obviously the weather may change as well as we go into the qualifying server. It could be dry. I know it's been wet here in the practice server for quite a little while. And into the pits they come. Oh, here we go. Session has ended. Here we go. Qualifying starts. Oh, and it is wet. It is going to be wet, and it might be wet all the way to the end as well. That's not what some people are going to want here, to be fair. They're going to be hoping for a bit of drier weather, but it doesn't appear to be coming. Who's our first car out on track? Looks like car number 23 is our first driver in the queue. Let's see if we can find car number 23. Oh, 223. That would be why I couldn't find 23. There we go. This is Fernandez in one of the BMWs, the Winning Rush GP car. Lovely livery on that car. So outlaps always going to be a little bit slower, and obviously being in the wet as well, this is going to be a very much a going out and investigating and seeing what kind of grip is available. The track is full wet. I imagine because of the wet weather, we possibly may see improving lap times towards the end, depending on what the rain is doing. It is saying it is going to decrease in 10 minutes time, so the last 3 minutes of qualifying might be absolutely insane with people trying to put in quick laps. Probably a lot of cars here this evening. 41 cars in total, so a pretty much absolutely stuffed full grid. So plenty of action to see on track all through the night, I'm thinking. So the slight change to normal. This is one of our 90-minute races. There are 2 90-minute rounds this year. This first one, sorry, this season, apologies. This first one here at Misano, and then the second one is a little bit later in the season at Kyalami. So normally not allowed to do any fuel on the pit stops. You just only have to do a mandatory tyre change. This evening there is open fuel ruling, so you can put in as much fuel and as little fuel as you want. You can fuel on the pit stop, and also the tyre rules have been changed as well. You basically can change tyres as many times as you like, or not at all if you want to, but no one's going to try and do 90 minutes on the same tyres. That's absolute insanity. So sticking with our leading car at the moment. I don't think it's been a great sector 1 for Fernandez. Trying to see the car just behind. And that's 991. It's that lovely Porsche. Number 991. Yes, that is Luca Ziege. I do think that car is looking ever so slightly quicker than the BMW in front. There'd be a very, very simple livery, but that all-white livery does look quite striking on the Porsche. I think it does suit it really nicely. You can see all the details on that car. This is their first flying lap for both these drivers. Oh, there we go. Car number 223 flying off the circuit. That will invalidate this lap, so should be Luca Ziege putting in the first flying lap of the race. Oh, big power slide there. Trying to hold on to it, just about keeps the back end of the car in check for that penultimate turn. Throws it into the final turn. And it is properly soggy out there this evening. So what are we getting? There we go. First lap in, a 1:43 was the lead, and it all come tumbling in now, though. Door holding on to it for a few seconds of the 1:41.560. In fact, let's jump on board with our provisional pole sitter at the moment. And it's in the Bentley. Oh, immediately dethroned by Brouwer, but we're going to stick with this Bentley for a minute. A fantastic looking car. Racing for Hive Mind this evening. So you may be thinking to yourself when you're sat at home, thinking, why on earth is the Bentley back? Well, that is because we are running a custom balance of performance, or BOP as some people call it, or BOP. And basically this custom BOP allows a bit more of a levelling of the playing field. The obviously in-game BOP can sometimes be a little bit squiffy. We've find from time to time. So behind the scenes, AOR put together their own AOR specific BOP. So yeah, very nice to see, and it means that a lot of these older cars can make a bit of a comeback. Oh, car number 51 has made a mistake. That was Bart Raven. Oh, and car number 451 as well. So a couple of people pushing that a little bit too hard in the wet, making mistakes. Let's stick with the door for a minute or two. And there we go. And actually our championship leader, Zerbin, has now put in the fastest lap of the race. Matt York as well, who I believe came second in race 1. Third in race 1, has just got himself up near the top. Door with another nice improvement there, up into second place. So Zerbin at the moment is holding on to that top spot with a 1:40.802. That's some pretty decent time here in the wet. In fact, let's see if we can jump on the dashboard of this car and stick with him. Here it is, so on the dash. We'll sit and observe our current pole sitter for a minute or two. So to get an idea of what the drivers can see there from the dashboard of Carnival 88, and it's especially when you get the spray of cars in front of you, it's going to be an absolutely manic first couple of laps if it is wet when we actually start the race. A bit of a change at the top. Troy Iman has taken pole position. Currently, it's I was about to say it's the front row is currently locked out by British cars. Mr. Jones on an improvement, running in second place at the moment. Still fairly early in the lap though, so lots of opportunities to either A, make mistakes or gain more ground. This is Mr. Jones racing for Jones' team. So people on big improvement. Let's see who we can get. I've just seen. Dawn improvement. We'll jump back on board with him as the Bentley's getting quite a lot of love this evening. Early in the lap, but 0.4 up on his best time. We've also got some other people as well. Tadic on a really good improvement down here. A lot of people making big ground. Zanabini as well. Whole second up on their lap time. That's a huge improvement. In fact, we're going to jump on board with Zanabini. Whereabouts on the track are they? All coming towards the end of the lap as well. So 1.1 seconds up on their lap time at the moment. Racing for ROTW Racing Team. Still a second up. This is going to be a huge jump up the order for them. Currently running in 38th place. One corner left to go. Can they hold it together? Still a second up on their time. 1.2 up on their time now as they come across the line. They were in 38th and they jump up to 21st. Massive improvement. 17 places gained. So everyone at the top fairly steady at the moment. Dorr is the one to keep an eye on with 0.9 of an improvement. Currently running in 14th place, but he's coming towards the line, thundering along in the Bentley. Was 14th, up into pole position. Huge improvement. Absolutely smashes it out the park with a 140.07 and is immediately improving again. There's a slight improvement there as they were coming through turn 1 and 2. So anyone else on the big one? Here we go. Paulo Lima, big improvement. 0.5 up on their time. They're halfway through the lap at the moment. 0.6 of an improvement now. Luca Ziege as well, currently running in 40th place. Obviously we saw quite high up, well, quick out the pits earlier on. He was the second driver out on track and our first person to set a fast lap. So Paul Lima with a 0.4 improvement at the moment. Racing in that lovely Barwell Motorsport car. Oh, Luca Ziege, massive improvements at the moment. 1.5 seconds up on his lap time. He's about to cross the line, actually, so we'll see where he goes. And no change there, so I'm not sure what happened with Ziege. I'm guessing, presumably, that was an invalid lap. So even though it was coming up on my screen, it wasn't actually a clean lap. So here comes Lima, still 0.4 up on his times. Get here was 38th place, now jumping up the order to 29th. Hyman again on a slight improvement. And the Lamborghini car number 451 goes flying off in front of him. Car number 451 is being piloted by, let's see who that was. That is Goslin. That wasn't the flying lap of theirs anyway. That was already a slow lap, so that's fine. No time lost there. So I think Iman's got a stalemated on that one. No improvement that last time round. De Brouwer is having an improvement here. Oh, they lost a lot of time there in through the hairpin, or like sort of double apex. Big loss of time. 2 minutes and 23 seconds left to qualify. don't think it's really going to do anything other than be wet the entire way round at the moment. So 2 minutes left for people to try and put in decent laps. That's 1 or 2 laps for drivers out there now. So De Brouwer should be able to get in 2 laps here if he's got enough fuel and tyres left. Well, Clifford I've just saw was on a decent lap and then has then stayed in 15th place. Oh, can we have a shout out for the British drivers? Okay, there's a couple of really obvious ones. There's who have we got here this evening? We've got Matt York, or Yorkie, he is in here this evening. Benjamin King, I haven't actually seen if he's in the race or not, but that's another one of our championship drivers who is of British descent. So let's have a look. Benjamin King, yes, currently running in 29th place. We've got Nathaniel Shirley as well. Cody Cosford. What else have we got here? Leighton Austin. Dorr is a British driver as well. James Cowley. So we'll scroll down through. Michael Syme. Stuart McLeod, Scottish. Harry McQuillan is also great British as well. And Jay Brooker as well. So there's a fair few sort of, British Isles drivers here this evening. At the moment, last time we looked, it was Dorr on pole. It's no longer anymore. Dorr are now in 2nd place. Don't think he's going to get another lap in after this as well, though he is on a slight improvement. Mr. Jones is one to keep an eye on as well. Oh, so Zerbin is one to keep a very close eye on. Absolutely flying at the moment. And Mr. Jones as well, 0.3 up on his time. Matt York as well, improving on his lap times. Still a long way to go for most of these drivers, though. At the moment, Troy Iman is running in pole position. He's out there at the moment and not improving on his lap time. So here is Jones, he's 0.5 up on his lap, so was in 8th. Puts himself in pole position. But we've got some big drivers around him, also on big improvements. So we've got Bart Raven, 0.2 up on their lap. Where in the circuit are they? Still very early in the lap, to be fair. Zerbin must be near the end of the lap. Yes, he is actually about to cross the line. He's 0.5 up on his time. Where are we going to see him place himself? Up into 2nd position. Dorr still out there flying. Matt York also out there flying. So Dorr has just managed to get onto that one. And where is Matt York running? He's 0.3 up. He's coming into the final turn now in that lovely liveried Bentley, and absolutely fantastic to see Yorkie back in a Bentley as well. It just seems right. Was 12th place, crosses the line, up into 7th place, gets himself inside the top 10. Really well done. Bart Raven, where are we looking? Whereabouts on the circuit are you? A fair way back. Zerbin gets himself into 2nd, as we saw earlier on. Varagnolo, 3rd place at the moment. Dorr still on an improvement and could very much take away some positions, but Bart Raven... Dorr is a little bit in front, so we'll stick with Dorr as he crosses the line, then we'll jump back to Bart Raven. Oh, actually, they're literally right next to each other, aren't they? So Dorr comes across the line, gets himself into 3rd. Bart Raven comes across the line, puts himself in 2nd, so demotes Dorr. I believe that is it. That is everyone across the line now. Well, we're still saying there's a few drivers out there. Bart Raven. There we go. Now they're back to the pit. As that session has actually ended now, anyone else out on the circuit will not actually be putting in laps. Essentially, it will just be like in laps for them. So it's starting wet, and it looks like maybe it's going to dry up a little bit and then get wet again. We'll have to wait and see what everything does as and when the weather decides to sort itself out. But having a little look at the grid in a moment, we will jump on and have a proper look at everything in just a second. But while we're just here and waiting for the formation lap to start, let's have a quick run through the championship, or at least the top 10 of the championship. So currently in first place in the championship is Zerbin with 188 points. He's had 2 podiums in 2 races. Really, really good start to the season. Jonathan Clifford, second place with a podium and an 18th position. And then we have Kaz Lucas in third place with an 11th place and a 3rd place finish. Matt York in 4th position in the championship, 3rd and 19th. Benjamin King, a 32nd, really bad start to the season, and then a 2nd place in race 2. So fantastic effort. 6th place is Mr. Jones. 7th is Brooke Nara. Nathaniel Shirley in 8th place, Cody Cosford in 9th, and then De Broer in 10th place in the championship. So only 2 races down, it's still pretty close. A little bit of an escape by Zerbin just because of that super consistency. And it is looking like he might be able to do something as well, get himself on the podium again this evening. That would be very, very exciting if he does manage to do that again. So while we're here, let's run through the qualifying timetables. We can have a little bit of a look at what people did. So actually, if you look at it, the fastest sectors weren't even taken by the driver that put themselves on pole. Mr. Jones just overall was a quicker lap. So if we're running through it, Mr. Jones on pole, followed by Bart Raven in 2nd. 3rd place, Zerbin. 4th place is Dor. Varignolo in 5th. Iman in 6th. Matt York in 7th. Shirley 8th. Arlavi in 9th position, and then rounding out the top 10 is Van Sand. Fantastic effort for all those drivers. They'll be very, very pleased with themselves. Got to do that another 4 times, it would seem. De Broer in 11th place, Blizzard in 12th, Brunua in 13th, Zanabini in 14th. This is Gairin in 15th place, Kachowski in 16th place, Nilsson in 17th, Vodoris in 18th, and Benjamin King in 19th. Rounding out the top 20 is this is a name I don't believe we've actually seen before. Santa Croce. I imagine I've probably absolutely butchered that one. I do apologise. I will make sure I know that one for next time. Cooper, 21st place. Tudor in 22nd. Brug Nara, 23rd. Syme in 24th. 25th is Kuderman. Well, that's a name we a blast from the past. Kuderman. Really great to see that name back in here again. Kaz Lucas, 26th position. Cosford 27th, Clifford 28th, Austin 29th, and rounding out the top 30 is Tadic. Siopis 31st place, 32nd place is Brugnara, 33rd is Lima, Christian Romano in 34th. Shout out to one of my commentating brethren. McLeod 35th place, 36th place is Cowley. Beeg in 37th. God, this is a massive amount of names. Ranieri in 38th place, 39th is Fernandez, Lucas Ziege in 40th, and Goslin rounding out all the drivers in 41st place. Goodness gracious, what an absolutely incredible amount of names out there at the moment. So, formation lap is about to begin any seconds now. Well, actually 21 seconds, so I do apologise. It's going to be a wet start to the race. At least the first half an hour of this race is going to be properly wet. So, it'll be interesting to see how everyone manages to put this together. Are people going to stay with mixed condition setups, or are they going to go over to a more wet specific one? It's really going to be a bit of a change from yesterday. It was actually yesterday's Tier 1 race started in the dry and then eventually went over to a bit of rain and then it dried up again a bit towards the end. But here we go, starting the formation lap. And it is Jones in the Aston Martin, Bart Raven in another Aston Martin. It's really great to see these cars up here on the pointy end of the field again. So turn 1, turn 2, lots of overtakes here happened last night. There's a big chance for moves. Again through turn 3 and down towards turn 4 as well. Lots of moves probably going to be made. So as you come down into this slightly over 90, this is turn 4. You can really get yourself lined up nicely for turn 5, but you don't want to overcut it, otherwise you'll end up going wide for turn 6. Then there's some big angry sausage curbs on the exit of this one. You can just see it there to the right hand side of the screen. Those black and yellow, black and yellow stripes. Hit those with your car and you will be having a very bad time. I remember a few years back, it was actually in real life racing, there was actually a car that completely damaged its chassis and put a massive crack in it as they bounced over those. So, bit of a straight down towards turn 8. Another big place where we saw moves here, moves to the inside and the outside. get turn 8 right, and then you've got a nice run down towards turn 9 and 10. These are super important. Double apex turn. This sets you up for the back straight. So again, a lot of drivers are going to have to really make sure they nail this. This is one of those, there's a couple of different lines through this turn. We saw a few incidents here as well last night. So coming onto the back straight now. Well, it is incredibly wet out here this evening. It is proper sodden. So Zerban in the Ferrari is having a little bit of a weave. I think it's so wet, it's going to be very hard to get any meaningful temperature into these tyres. Hopefully everyone is starting on wets. I'd like to think they are. We'll have a bit of a better idea when we get closer. So now just coming through turns 12 down towards 13. And now at this point everyone will be catching up, starting to stack themselves up, getting side by side. You can hear the engine notes rising as everyone kicks it down a gear and gets themselves all tightly bunched up. The top 8 cars already fully in formation and getting ready. 2 corners left to go, and then you can see the back of the field just coming into shot there, and they will be stacking up. You get an idea of how many cars are here this evening. I mean, they're all fairly close at the moment, but see how far they spread back. Absolutely huge amounts of cars. Right, going to go with Helicam for the very beginning as they round the final corner, and they'll stack themselves up and get themselves down to the right speed. Everyone nice and close. We'll stick with our leaders. We'll try and jump back to any incidents if we see any, and if it's possible to. Sometimes it can be absolutely mad, but here we go. Go, go, go. Green light down towards turn 1, and actually this driver's still coming around the final turn, getting themselves onto the pit straight. It's close. Door has a little bit of a bump with Zerbin, but he does get past. He's going to have the inside into turn 2. So far, so good. Everyone clean. Oh no, there's a couple of cars off there right away at turn 1. Not sure what happened there. We're going to stick with the rest of the pack just for a minute. Seems like the bulk of cars have made it through. All kind of before as well with the yellow. Oh, and Zerbin gets bumped wide. Zerbin gets jumped wide there by Bart Raven, I believe. Timing board throwing an absolute wobbly. Here we go. Oh, come on, timing board. Sort yourself out. Yes, okay. It's doing that lovely thing where it says everyone at the back is actually technically at the front. That's what we love to see. Thank you so much, timing board. Yes, here we go. Right, where are we looking? Let's go for Door. We knew he was somewhere near the front, and actually, yes, he is now leading this battle pack, running in second place. Car number 9 of Jones already really starting to pull away. Door now also being able to escape. Zerbin, he's dropped back a few positions after having a few bumps, and another one there in the wet. People with cold tyres not able to hold it together. We've got a yellow flag out there for a brief moment. It has disappeared. But so far, there hasn't been any major casualties. No one has returned to the pit. We saw people off at turn 1. We're not going to go back and watch that one. It's just not on lap 1, taking 30 seconds out. We always end up chasing replays otherwise. But everyone very, very cautious on lap 1. Only 3 cars sort of off the pace at the moment. This top pack super close together. In fact, let's jump back a little bit. There seems to be a really nice little battle going on. I think that was De Bruyne. Oh, but just as we cut to them, De Bruyne has compact, and there's more. Lap 1 madness. Hold your brakes, everyone. Oh, it's really messy back there. That is not going well. Oh, and the crash just continues. That is not what we expect from the Tier 2 lads. So there's a lot of not holding the brakes going on there. We sort of tried to keep as best eye on it as we possibly could, but there is some serious damage. So just towards the end of that opening lap, absolute madness ensues. Oh dear, I think there was a case of possibly not holding the brakes or just not able to get the car stopped in the wet. I'm not sure, but at the moment Jones is absolutely flying away. Door doing his absolute darndest to catch up as best as he can. It was a massively faster lap last time round than Door actually, but sorry, no, Door was much quicker out there this time, so we'll see what happens. Zerbin under attack from Einman, as well as York under attack from Varagnolo. In fact, there might be a little move here going on now. We're jumping back. Varagnolo looks to the inside, or outside, apologies. Doesn't quite make it work. Car number 29 as well, stopped on the circuit. Here we go. This is where the Bentley's probably going to come to life and really try and get away on the back straight. We've seen the Aston Martin being an absolute rocket ship on the back straight, but the Bentley seems to be doing a fairly similar thing, holding it together for now. It's been just over 3 minutes of the race and my voice is already starting to go. It's going to be a long old evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully I can hold it together and the voice keeps going. But I mean, if it blows out commentating on racing such as this, that is absolutely fine in my book. So let's jump back down to a slightly closer view. Just following Yorkie as he comes across, completed the second lap. Oh, there was a big mistake there from Shirley. What happened there? Was that just a rotation as he came around that final corner? I think he just caught a bit too much curb. Yes, see the back of the car step out. Did manage to hold it together. Doesn't lose any positions, but that certainly would have lost him a little bit of time on the circuit, and he is dangerously close now to the front of Geirin. Right, up front at the moment, Jones already pulled away, Dorr already pulled away, Zerbin having a good little squabble. Heinemann still very close behind. It's all fairly close, still back in the pack as well. Jonathan Clifford now having a bit of a squabble. Got Kuderman just in front of him, Van Sand just behind. Three very fast and accomplished drivers. Just see the back there, Lucas Ziege, who's had a massively good first lap. He's already gained loads of positions. I think he might have been lucky and not got caught up in that end of the lap incident. Big move up the inside though by car number 93 and goes super, super deep. How on earth everyone survived that, I will never know. Car number 93, that was Van Sam with an absolutely massive dive. Goodness gracious. I genuinely have no idea how that did not cause an incident there. I think that damage was already done to the front of the blue and red McLaren there of Van Sam. Well, not Van Sam, is it? That was Kuderman, I think. Yeah, Kuderman drops back behind. Let the time lord sort itself out. Oh, car number 51 has gone off. Oh, car number 51, I thought that was a big name we saw earlier on. Oh, that was Bart Raven. So Bart Raven off. Oh, car number 10 goes a little bit deep there. I really feel like this is one of those circuits where Helicam really does help out a lot for being able to keep an eye on what's going on. Right, change of battle. This is Benjamin King being chased down by De Bruyne. Can we see over that rear wing? Yes, we can as they come down into turn one. So hanging on the back of the big angry Mercedes, looking back at that lovely liveried Porsche. Would not be any more different cars, if we're brutally honest. Big brute force front engine rear wheel drive machine versus the more sort of dainty and refined Porsche, that rear engine rear wheel drive. The Mercedes is really going to struggle for traction, and you can hear he had to wait until the car was completely straight before putting his foot down, whereas De Bruyne will be able to get his foot down a little bit earlier with that rear engine supplying extra traction. Car number 40 here sees a yellow flag, big move up the inside, gets it done under braking. Benjamin King loses one position there to De Bruyne. We saw the Porsche go really well here as well last night, so it'd be interesting to see how the Tier 2 lads hold it together. Top sort of staying as it was. Matt York still squabbling away with Varignolo. I do love the livery on that car. And that's a Thomas Eng sim racing machine here. Absolutely flying now towards the final corner. Let's have a little jump back further, see who we've got squabbling and going. They were kind of all over the place earlier on. Nice little one going on here, looks to the inside, Porsche goes wide, it's Michael Syme. Oh, but cuts back across and catches the side of the Ferrari. Oh, and Syme has a drive-through as well, probably for track cuts. Surely they're not going to teleport to the pits. Don't do it. Come on, Syme. Keep going. You've got an hour and a half this evening. You don't need to just jump straight back to pits. You can do it. It's worth staying out. Lima running in 30th place at the moment. That's in that Barwell Motorsport car. Oh, Vodoris with a stop-go penalty of 30 seconds. That's for speeding in the pit lane. So any penalties you see in the server this evening are sort of either predetermined time penalties that have been put on from previous incidents, or they are game created. So I'm seeing some love for Leighton. We will have a jump on with them. Just a second. The chat saying 10 places in 5 minutes. Awesome work. Yes, that is some seriously good going. It's been a bit of a crazy beginning to the race as well. So where is Leighton running? I'm sure everyone at home is screaming at me that he's in a very obvious place and I'm just being incredibly blind. Leighton Austin, there we go. I was just being blind. I always refer to people by their second names when it comes to racing, so I was looking for Leighton in the second name list, and I was never going to find it because it's Leighton Austin. Racing for West Competition Racing. Car number 53. That lovely bright green Ferrari. Let's jump on a little bit closer, cams. There it is. The Sippy Cup of the racing world. Up into 20th place, really good effort so far. It's going to jump back to another little sort of gaggle of cars that are quite close. It's James Cowley running in 28th place at the moment, being chased down by Cosford and trying to hold on to the back of Fernandez. So quick check-in near the front of the field. Mr. Jones still holding on to pole position, putting in the fastest lap of the race currently with a 1:41.662. Closely followed by Dorr. You can see him there in the rear of the shot. Fastest lap for him was a 1:41.850, so quite a big old difference. You can see the gap on track. Zerbin as well following along behind. Einman in there as well. All of them have split up now. There's a few seconds between the lot of them at the moment. Shirley versus Grenier, that does appear to be heating up a little bit. Oh, the Ferrari goes wide, and the Aston Martin gets a chance to really close up. We saw the Aston Martin just so poised in the wet last night, and look how quickly it can get on the power and get itself together. And we did see as well when it gets on that back straight again, as we saw at Kota, those Astons really do have a fantastic top end. Oh, the Ferrari unsettled there. Big flash of the lights from Shirley. Don't think it's going to work though. I don't imagine it is going to unsettle Grenoir. Car number 95 and car number 51. Yellow flag going on there. Let's see if we can jump on with it. That's Bart Raven and he is off the circuit. What happened there? Oh, there's a car off the track. He goes wide. Does rejoin and stays wide. Did we not go back far enough? I'm not sure. It's still there. It appears to be going. We went back 30 seconds. I thought there would have been enough. Oh, and the car just rotates and goes round. Oh, but he's collected by the GTR. There's a GTR in the field. Who's driving the GTR? I didn't even notice up to this point. How on earth did I not notice that there's another GTR here in Tier 2 for the second season on the trot? But yes, Bart Raven rotated and yeah, probably being a little bit hard done by. It's Beeg. Beeg is in there for the GT Sport Motor Team RJN car. I believe that is an in-game livery, but goodness gracious, how amazing. 2 seasons on the trot we've got the old girl back here again. So, just look at them coming down this first part of the back straight, absolutely flying down here at the moment, absolutely fantastic to see. A little bit wide there, car number 333 gets a little look to the inside, can't make it work, has to stick with it at the moment. But that Porsche very much under attack. De Boer is going to want to try and push forward. Big slide there though. Oh, car number 47 is off. That looks like it is down towards turn 13. I imagine that's going to be everyone in the braking zone just getting the cars unsettled, and it is very wet out there. So while the timing boards sort themselves out, having a little bit of a wobble. Let's have a quick look at Brugnara, car number 10, Bebetti Racing. So looking like it's staying wet for the next half an hour of racing at least. It does appear that it's no longer sort of increasing amounts of rain. It is going to level off in sort of 10 minutes, hopefully. On board with car number 12, Brenoir still being chased down by the back of Shirley. In fact, let's look over that rear wing. Look at this lovely Ferrari streaming away. But you can see the Aston Martin is able to catch up, although the Aston Martin, big slide in the background. That was the perfect shot. Fully slides it in and saves it. Oh my goodness, I really hope someone clips that. That was the perfect shot we got then. How many was that? 1 minute and 16. Oh my goodness, that could not have been a better time to cut to that camera, could it? Absolutely fantastic save by Shirley. Goodness gracious, what a save. I imagine that's a bit unsettling for Shirley. They are going to drop back, and now I think it's Zabini behind them. They've got a couple of cars coming up behind them, but it's not looking like it is the car that's actually battling for position. No, it's Cooper is the next one back, and he's a fair old way back. That's another lovely looking car. Let's just see if we can get a better look at this livery. Oh, everyone going sideways. And everyone's struggling to keep the car going in a straight line. Is this like a tiger livery of sorts? I can't even see what kind of livery it is, but God, it's a wicked looking car. That is fantastic. Ryan Cooper, fantastic livery. That always gets brownie points here in Tier 2. We love it. We love a good livery. Right, back on it, De Bruyne versus Kazlukas. At the minute, the Porsche holding it off at the bit. Are we going to see something to the inside? Yes, we are. Big move up the inside. There was contact. And round goes De Bruyne. Oh, that's going to be a long old time waiting to rejoin. Oh, it does get it done. Just about rejoins. Gets to the inside of the track. That was very, very close. And it's probably the best bet they could do is just get across the circuit and then finally can get up some speed before really cracking on. Mr. Jones definitely being reeled in now by Dorr. These two have really, really closed up, and to be fair, so has Zerbin and Einman. Look at these two right on top of each other again. Oh, and Voroknolo gets themselves a drive-through. That is going to be for track limit infringements. We saw at least, I think it was 4 or 5 last night. Car number 53, there's a yellow flag out for them as well. Again, down towards turn 13 and 14. That is Leighton Austin, who we were looking at earlier and celebrating. So we'll jump on board with them as they come down the back straight, coming down towards turn 11 and 12. So what happens here? Throws it in. So that's turn 12. As they're going to 13, car, let's go, spins round immediately. Full 360 and ends up in the gravel. Not what they would have wanted. And all those positions gained, sadly, end up going out the window, but they still have over an hour of racing left to go, so plenty of time for things to change. So on board with Clifford at the moment, who is chasing after the back of Benjamin King. Oh, and Varagnola speed in the pit lane. Oh, so there we go. There's a stop-go 30 as well for Varagnola. That is absolutely devastating. Car number 84. And day goes from bad to worse. Just over 15 minutes of the race done, and already it is turning in to be one of the all-time greats, I think, here in Tier 2. The top 5 cars have absolutely rocketed away, it has to be said. And this is an opportunity where maybe Matt York, now sort of sitting on his own, can try and gain some ground, currently running it in 5th place overall. Third place is on still though as they start another lap. Oh, car number 14 all the way down. That is, oh, that's turn 10, isn't it? Oh, here we go. Looks to the outside at turn 1. Decides not to. Gets the brakes done. Swings in towards turn 2. It's got one of my favourite cameras. Let's look on the rear wing of Zerbin as Einman chases after him. So it's still racing and raining in 30 minutes, but decreasing rain. Oh, this is possibly going to be the run. Here it is. The Ferrari got a bit unsettled. Ended up going out wide onto the red and white curbing. Slowed themselves right down. Had to avoid the sausages that were a little bit further out to their right. And lost load of time, load of speed. And through goes Iman up into third place. And just look at the way the McLaren gets the power down here, even in the wet. Absolutely doing it. So now we have a British podium, as it were, at the moment. Well, all British cars, we're saying that. Fantastic to see the British-made vehicles doing so well in the wet stuff. It would only seem right that these cars would be seemingly decent in the wet. Probably find the factories they were built in were full of the damn stuff. Oh no! But Iman makes a mistake and he goes wide after just all of that. After that amazing bit of racing, ends up just nipping the curb on the outside edge and goes wide. What on earth happened there? Let's just jump on board and see if we can get on his dash and see what happened there. So this is Iman we're on board with. Going down the back straight, you can see just how wet it is. Sorry about the volume, it's incredibly loud inside the car. You get an idea of what it is like for those driving. Throws it in, doesn't seem... Oh, he just does... He hits too much of that curb. A little bit too much of the painted stuff. Can't get the car turned in and ends up washing out wide. Doesn't rotate though. That is a big bonus. Did not rotate the car. So although there is track position lost, luckily no damage and not too much track time. You could see he was being very, very aggressive over those wet curves to try and catch up with the back of Zerbin, and sadly he's got to do it all over again now. Lead gap down to 1.2 seconds. There's a back marker up there as well. No doubt will want to try and get themselves involved a little bit in that, but at the moment, Dorr is just about reeling in Mr. Jones. It's sort of been around the 1 to 2 second mark the entire way through. Grenier and Shirley as well. These two still squabbling it out. We saw that big slide from Shirley earlier on. It was absolutely fantastic to see. Probably not for Shirley though, was it? That was probably a little bit hairy for them. Not what they would have wanted. Oh, and there we go. Ferrari goes super deep. Through goes Shirley. On the Brenoir. Gets themselves a drive-through. It's another track infringement. Oh, dearie me. So many drivers picking it up. It's not just on the apexes of turns. You can get it on the exit as well. And as far as the game is concerned, if you're out there that wide... Oh, and there we go. Brenoir jumps into the pit immediately, obviously deciding that battling it out is only going to slow him down more and might as well get it done. It only has 3 laps to get that drive-through done. Oh, Kuderman, Zanabini gets a drive-through as well. And another one. What's going on? Brewer gets a drive-through as well. We've already had like 5 or 6. Goodness gracious, I know it is wet out there, lads, but try and hold it together a little bit, please. It is drive-through o'clock, it would seem. There we go. And Siopis as well with the drive-through. Where are they all coming from? So there we go. We're possibly going to be to double figures of the amount of drive-throughs by the end of this race. I think I've lost count. I'm sure it's 6, maybe 7. I'm not sure anymore. We'll go with 6. We'll always go for the lower number that I'm not sure of. But at least 6 has happened so far. Oh, goodness gracious. So this little battle going on at the moment. Cristiano Romano chasing after... I believe that is, yeah, it's Cristian Romano chasing after the back of Fernandez. Let's see if we can get a little look on that rear wing of Fernandez. Who is going to be bravest here? Everyone avoided the curb. Good shout. Goes all the way up to the outside. Throws it in. Again, just feathering the throttle there. Fernandez trying to keep that car going as fast as possible without unsettling it too much. Christian goes a little bit deep there, but holding on at the moment. Top 17. Another little battle going on here as well is Leighton Austin versus Tadic. Tadic looks like he is serious. Oh, someone in the pit there, like a huge slide as they entered the pits. Goodness gracious, I think that was Siopis actually. Yes, it was. Drifting their way into the pits. Those two have just split apart a little bit. Goslin, though, super under attack here from Tudor. Going to look to the inside for turn 1. Can't make it work. He was given enough room, but not very much. Just enough to sort of go defensive, and now is off the racing line a little bit, trying to regain some speed. Meanwhile, Zanabini trying to come on the attack. The Ferrari looked to have a really good run there. Is it going to get done on the braking zone here? It's on the inside. Double apex. Oh, bit of a touch there. I think too major, but now they're too wide here as well. And that is exactly what Tudor needed. Those two have squabbled a little bit. It's given him a huge advantage, and he's managed to pull away. I think that would only ever come down as a racing incident, if even that. But another move here may be on the cards. No, not at all. Oh, super deep for Goslin. Off he goes. And Zanabini gains a position as well. And I imagine Goslin will be kicking himself for that one. So as people are in the pits, it's messing with my timing board a little bit, because Kaz Lucas was showing up as being very, very close to someone, but they are definitely not at the moment. And De Bruyne with that drive-through penalty to serve still. Oh, there we go, actually into the pits now. That gap at the front has come right down. Half a second between them, and there you go. You can see the Bentley stalking up on the back of it. These two absolute Goliaths of the track. You can see Zerb in there. A fair way back, but you never know when these two start properly squabbling. They are two very big cars to go toe-to-toe. But so far, with just over 25 minutes of the race, Mr. Jones has led every single lap of this race. Both of them going super deep there, though. They are going to have to be careful they're not picking up too many track limit warnings. Still looking like it's going to be wet for the next half an hour as well. We might see a change in the weather hopefully soon. When it gets round to the hour, we might see a change. So it was mixed conditions last night, and so far it has just been an absolute monsoon here. Door definitely looking like the faster of the two out there at the moment. In fact, yes, he was. He did a 1:43.4 last time round, and Mr. Jones did a 1:43.7. So that is a huge time difference between them, and I think that does really explain why the Bentley's coming through quite as strong as it is. Lots of cars in the pits at the moment, cycling through. It's still very early on in the race to do a sort of planned pit stop, especially depending on what the weather might end up doing. So I imagine some of these drivers might be in fixing damage. Kuderman out on track, chasing after the back of De Bruyne. Car number 84 on a slow run. And that was down towards the end of that back straight, wasn't it? So I imagine that was probably a bit of a recovery drive there. Car number 84 is Tudor. Oh, and in fact, Tudor having a nice little squabble here. It is with Siopis. I think it is. Yes, Siopis does just about get in front on the pit straight. Cuts across for turn 1, gets the move done. Another position gained. Tudor up into 26th place. No, I apologise, sorry. Siopis gains the position, sorry, up into 25th place. So many numbers, so little time. So jumping back on board with our leaders, Jones versus Dorr. These two super close together at the moment. Let's have a little bit of a refresh on where they are in the championship. Dorr running in 18th place at the moment, and Mr. Jones running in 6th place. So big gains here this evening, it would seem, for Mr. Jones. Although Zerbin's still on the podium, this could be his third podium in a row. And third podium in 3 races. It's a very, very strong start to the season. That sort of, you know, Luke Whitehead-esque style. Every once in a while, you do get a driver that comes into Tier 2. It really does show their muscle for an entire season, and then they end up going up to Tier 1 if they continue to race with AOR. Obviously, AOR, one of the largest community-driven, if not the largest community-driven racing community. We have a Discord, we've got the website, apexonline.racing. Come and join us, lots of information there. All the links to everything should be below in the description. And obviously it's not just Tier 1 and Tier 2 that race. Tier 1 races on Mondays, and then Tier 2 all the way down to 10 race at this time on a Tuesday. And obviously with full coverage of Tier 1 and Tier 2 all throughout the multiple seasons. So get yourself into Tier 1 and Tier 2 and you might end up on the stream as well. You never know. I might be the one shouting you out either on a Monday or a Tuesday night. So if you feel you've got the pace, come and sign up. There's no big prize money. You are in this to win a pair of socks. Glorious pair of SIMSOKs from one of our sponsors. Oh, Carnival 84 I've just noticed is off. Now appears to be moving again. What happened to Carnival 84? Let's see if we can find them. 84, that was Tudor. We'll jump back. I think that might have been Sausage Curbs of Death. Might have taken this car out. So what happened here? Yes! Oh no! Big over rotation. Catches the inside wall. Oh, that's a lot of damage to the front of that car. Still got an hour to go though. And still probably need to do a pit stop, I would imagine. Maybe to put that timing screen to sort itself out again and catch back up. We'll be able to tell if they've completed their mandatory stop or not. No, they haven't done their mandatory stop, so that is a bonus for them. That at least means that they still need to pit anyway, so it's not an added pit stop, that's just a regular pit stop, but they can come in and they can fix that damage. So going back to it, quick one, yes, so the main sponsors here this evening, obviously SIMSOK giving the prizes, and also Driver 61, driver tutoring and setups. Again, there is a discount if you are part of the Apex Online community. Well, there always used to be. I probably ought to double check that is still the case, but that always used to be the case. That there was deals there to be had. Just on keeping an eye now on Cooper in the CMR Bentley. Another big slide through there. Mr. Jones has opened up his gap at the front again to 1.5 seconds, so really decided to open up the taps and try and pull away. Maybe had just been looking after the gap, trying to just work it right. He's now decided to put his foot back down and is out to 1.6 seconds away from door. Jump on board with Zerbin. Being chased down by, is that Iman? I don't think it's Iman behind him. No, it's not. That's a back marker between them. So Iman is miles behind at the moment. And Matt York as well, kind of having his own little race, kind of a 65. We jump back to kind of a 65. Matt York. So yes, he has got, oh, is that? That is Gairin behind, I think. Kind of a 189 goes off as well. What was that? Kind of 189. That is Alavi. So let's go back and see what happened. Helicam now. Looks like that's Shirley coming up behind him. Ooh. And I'm not really sure what happened there. Just the car just did not turn in whatsoever. Oh, and then has a little coming together and rotates the car again. Kind of a bit of an unfortunate racing incident. I'm not sure what is going on there. That car looked super, super unsettled and just did not want to turn in whatsoever. In fact, we'll have a little look and see if possibly... colour of those tyre walls. They're still definitely black tyre walls, so it's definitely the right tyres. I think that was just a little bit of bad luck, I think. Hyman currently running in 4th place. lovely liveried McLaren. There's Iman in the championship. Let's have a little look. See if we can spot where they are. This is Troy Iman, currently 28th place in the championship. They had a DNF and a 16th place, actually tying on points here with Christian Romano. Benjamin King under attack now from Van Sand. Squabble their way through the rain. Oh, Carnival 1 is off as well. That's Tadic. Saw a yellow flag. Cars returning to the circuit. Again, that's the end of that back straight. Lots and lots of people making mistakes there now. Tyres have done just under 25 minutes of racing. There's a possibility they got a bit hot. Carnival 907 goes in for a yellow flag. It was number 907. See if we can spot that. That was Blizzard. Oh, and there we go up the inside. Van Sand goes through. We'll watch that one back on a replay, as I definitely wasn't looking at that time. There we go. Goes through. It was just a case of going too deep. There we go. There we go. So we've got Cody Cosford for Cool Shark Racing here in the chat. Just saying that he had a bad qualification, had an incident there at the end of lap 1 after making up some time, and then again with lots of broken steering managed to get himself going again, only to get taken out again, so has decided to call it a day. Fair enough, with the car's completely broken, sometimes it's better to hang up the wheel and just call it a night. It has been a bit of a choppy race. That end of lap 1 incident was certainly out of character for Tier 2. Arlavi having a nice little squabble again. I think this is Romano behind him still. Robert Arlavi for KWADI Racing. And SOP Esports Racing for Christian Romano. I think quite a few drivers are taken surprised by the amount of rain here this evening. So let's see if we can jump on the dashboard of Christian Romano and just get an idea of how little can be seen when you're chasing after the back of the car. So is another lap of Romano having to drive in the absolute whitewash that it is Arlavi spray. I do not envy the man whatsoever. Oh, Leighton Austin I think has just made a move. We'll see if we can jump back and spot that. Oh, and there's an incident there. Lucas Ziege gets shunted. Gonna have to be careful about not getting a penalty for track cutting there. Wouldn't necessarily be his fault. So Leighton Austin in here in the green Ferrari, coming down towards, I believe this is the final turn. Yes, it is, on the helicam. And Ziege goes deep and loses loads and loads of speed. So through comes Leighton Austin. Oh, and just gets collected there at the back end of the car. So whether or not that car just isn't back up to pace and feeling quite right, not sure. But yeah, Ziege would be very disappointed in that, to get bumped there at turn 1. 18th place though, still a big improvement from where they started on the grid. Jonathan Clifford and Van Sand. This battle continues as well. The mid-engine versus mid-engine car. Oh, kind of a 10 going off. Well, that was... oh, hang on, let's see what's going on there. I think that might have been an incident. So what happened here? Carnival 10, this is coming down towards turn 12, 13. Oh, maybe a little bit of a short shift. Car rotates round. Nothing he could do apart from go for the ride. Absolutely gone. And subsequently, I believe he has been passed. Oh, hang on, we missed the one. Romano and Arlavi. There was a change of position for these two. We're going to have to go back and see what happened there because, oh, it must have happened before. It was while we were watching the replay of the other one. So after all that time watching the battle, we missed when Christian Romano actually managed to get the move done. As is always the case, every time you try and watch all of it at once, it never quite works. But Romano finally manages to get past Iman and pushes forward. Absolutely fantastic effort. It's ongoing battles like that that are really surprising from time to time. You see them and they just keep waging war. Lap after lap. So again, back with Van Sand versus Clifford, these two. Having a good old go at it. And you can still see just how wet it is. Absolutely ridiculous. Still being super brave with those super wet curbs. You can just see how incredibly soggy everything is out there. Still fully wet. Hasn't quite gone to flooded, but it is fully wet out there. It's looking like it might be a wet race the whole way through. And again, I think a lot of drivers were not expecting quite this amount of rain. Oh, Cooper gets himself to drive through, and that's all the way up in 7th place. Devastating news. Quite a few cars that are sadly retired this evening due to weather or damage. A little squabble going on there just behind, I think. No, possibly not. Okay, it wasn't. It looked like there was a bunch of cars all close together and squabbling, but actually it was, I think it was back because they're not showing up on the timing screen as having a close battle. Shirley and Clifford, though, still going at it. Oh, actually, no, this is Clifford has caught up with the back of Shirley, hasn't it? With Van Sand, who was having a good fight. Van Sand has dropped back. So where is... No, it's not. They're not cars battling for position. Oh, and Matt York gets himself a drive-through penalty. Was running in 5th position and is now going to hemorrhage positions while he waits in the pit. If we have lost anyone, did we lose? Apologies to anyone at home if that sort of affecting... Oh, but it's gone again, hasn't it? It doesn't appear to be my internet. It appears to be the server itself. So fingers crossed everyone is still going. Right. This requires a little bit of magic to sort out, I'm afraid. So... hopefully the race is still going and it's not the server itself has crashed. Hopefully it's just something on my end. So please do sit tight for just a minute or two. We're just going to go back to the pre-screen for a minute just so you're not looking at my menus for a second. So do hold tight and hopefully we can get this all sorted very quickly. Good news, everyone. It was just apparently me losing connection to the server, so not fantastic, but there we go. Being asked, can one of the racers rejoin? No, I don't think you are technically allowed to rejoin, I'm afraid. Once you've left the server as a racer, I think that is then it. You're out, I'm afraid. Right, let's see if we can get actually some racing back on the go. Cameras, are you still working? No, they're not. Amazing news. Let's try that again. So at the moment, I'm afraid we are currently stuck on the dashboard of Matt York's car. Hopefully he's going to get moving again. Yes, he is. So apologies if you're watching at home and thinking, why not? Am I just sticking with one car in particular? Because the timing tool has had a bit of a wobble as well. Quite often happens when you lose connection to the server. Hopefully it will come back to life and it will all start working again. Right, we're back. It might be limping a little bit. Not sure what on earth happened with everything then, but we had a little bit of a wobble. That's fine. Worse things have happened here. We've recovered. That's the main thing, ladies and gentlemen. We have recovered from it. We're back. We're broadcasting still. And hopefully we can keep an eye on actually what's going on. I'm going to try and get everything back up and running so it all looks as good as it did before. It just takes a little minute to get it all up and going, I'm afraid. A billion things to keep an eye on and only 2 screens to try and squeeze it all into. So there's lots and lots going on. But it would appear that we're back up and running. Thank you everyone at home for sticking with us for that little... We'll call it a wobble. We'll just call it a wobble for now. So more drive-through penalties being served. Door has now taken over the on-track pole position. Mr. Jones has completed his pit stop pretty much at the halfway mark through the race as well, so obviously deciding that was the time to do it. So Cool Shark, one of the drivers, are obviously saying about can they rejoin. Pretty sure you can't, mate. Just as a heads up, I'm not sure you're going to get a reply mid-race. And so obviously the coordinators are doing lots and lots to keep an eye on lots of bits behind the scenes. And we don't do any live stewarding for Tier 2 and below. But no, pretty sure the rules are once you've left the server, especially if, rather than a disconnect, if you actually left the server, then you are not allowed to just join back in again. So sorry about that one. Or at least that is the way the rules have always been in the past. I noticed our Larvae was on a yellow flag then. He was off somewhere. Still running around in 11th place at the moment though, so that's decent. 13th place as he crossed the line. So no, the timing screen had a little bit of a wobble again. Got to love the ACC timing screen. It's just fantastic. Right, so as people completing pits now at this sort of halfway through the race point, another incident there for car number 12. That is again down at turn 13. Getting into a real hot spot. And so Jones and Iman have completed their mandatory stops. Van Sand, who we saw racing earlier on, is in there as well. We're currently still in the pits. So Jones is our fastest pitted driver. And Zerbin into the pits as well now. So where is Zerbin in relation? So Zerbin into the pits there. And where's Jones? Let's see if we can find where Jones is on the circuit. Car number 9. Come on, select number 9. There he is. Coming through turn 13 and 14 now. Zerbin is still in the pit. It's a long old road to get out the pit as well. I think he's still in his pit box. Obviously, there was a fair old gap between these two. Jones was well ahead, and I think Zerbin is now on the move. Yes, he is. Definitely not going to gain a position here, though. Too much of a gap to try and take up in the pit stops. Oh, and Zerbin's coming out the pits right behind someone as well. Worst situation you could want. Trying to come out the pits and immediately having a driver in front of you. They are basically overlapping as they come out the pits. The real one to see is where Door comes out. I think that's going to be the one to keep a real close eye on. So Jonathan Clifford currently running in 4th place. Zanabini having a nice little battle here with car number 12. Renoir. Alavi with a drive-through penalty was in 9th place. Drive-through penalties are absolute killers. If you're not sure what a drive-through penalty is, essentially you have to drive through the pitch. You don't have to stop, but you have to slow down, do the pit speed limit all the way through and out the other side. You cannot incorporate it with your mandatory stop. It is a separate drive-through. It's an absolutely monstrous amount of time. There's only one thing worse than that, and that is the stop-go 30 penalty you will get for speeding in the pit lane. Oh, big dive up the inside of car number 12. Does go deep, doesn't quite get the braking done where they want. It gives back the position. Going to have to be careful. I think that is Cristiano Romano coming up behind as well. Just got the braking zone wrong. Another car getting a yellow flag down there at turn 13 as well. That has been an absolute black spot for crashes this evening. Car number 40 of Romano goes through. Ferrari versus Ferrari. Oh, doesn't quite hold on to it. Come on, camera, change for me. There we go. Does hold on to it. Outbrakes him on the outside. Fantastically done. Oh, someone off there. Rejoining. That was car number. Let's see what it was. Something 3. 93. Oh, 93. That was Van Sand. So Romano continuing to push forward, now in 17th place. So Jones currently running in 5th place on the track, but is our leading pitted driver, followed by Zerbin, followed by Iman. Door into the pits. Whereabouts on the track right now is Jones. He is, oh, still a long way off. Just started the back straight. Door is in and stopped. These two have ebbed and flowed on their times. They've been pretty close. Mr. Jones has got the fastest lap of the race. Number 917 still holding still at the moment, not moving. I don't think he's going to gain a position in the pits. I think he's going to still be in 2nd place. May even drop back slightly further, to be fair. The car is moving, but it's such a long pit here. When you're diving into it, it doesn't feel that long, and actually on this, in the actual main part of the pit, it's the exit. It just keeps going forever and ever. And there we go. Through goes Jones, taking that position back from Door. Door still not able to put his foot down for another couple of seconds. There we go. Now Door can put his foot down. And that gap has definitely extended. So Jones definitely made the right decision getting that pit stop done that little bit earlier. And continues to fight on towards the front. So, on the track for G-Liga Esports Elite is Geirin. All on his lonesome at the moment down the back straight. Alavi coming into the pits. And through turn 13, where we have seen so many incidents this evening, whether it be people going wide and picking up their final track cut warning, or people over-rotating and just ending up in the gravel on the outside. We've seen a whole plethora of incidents here. Nathaniel Shirley currently running in 2nd place in that Beach Dean AMR Aston Martin. One of these slightly older British GT cars. Coming into the pits now. Benjamin King And the one and only Mercedes here. Going to inherit second place for the minute. Such a menacing car, the Mercedes. Absolutely fantastic looking car. Oh, kind of a 4.51. Sideways on the circuit there. Not sure what happened to that one. Let's see if we can find it. Kind of a 4.51. It's not going to change quick enough to it. The timing having a little bit of an issue, so we're not going to actually see what happened with that car. Doesn't appear to be any damage on it, so that might have just been a rotation in the wet. 34 minutes of the race left, and still the rain continues to hammer down on everyone. Door in the pits again. What happened there? Oh, Door's come back into the pits. I'm not entirely sure why. So Mr. Jones's main rival, Door, in the pits for his second time. So not sure what happened there. Whether maybe that was a case of wrong tyres or not entirely sure. We'll hopefully find out post-race. Luckily we do have access to something that a lot of sort of real life commentators don't. We have access to the Discord, so sometimes we can get a bit of get some answers sort of post race while we're trying to do our podium interviews. So Gayrin comes into the pit, so now Ben King is going to inherit the lead. Looking like Leighton Austin, car number 53, which has not completed his mandatory stop yet. Looks like they're pretty close with Ayman, who has completed their stop. So squabbling it out. So although it is poor track position, it's not really a proper race, as Austin is technically not sort of in this battle, as he hasn't pitted. So Ayman has got to be careful. He's not going to want to slow down too much, but he's also not going to want to go too aggressive and then cause an incident. To be fair, I think Mr. Jones has actually nearly caught up with the back of Benjamin King. There's half a second between them. If my timing board finally changes, as I really hope it does. There we go, we can see it now. So on pace alone, Jones is catching up with the back of King. Kind of a 4.51 goes off again, that's turn 13. It's claimed so many drivers this evening. Having a little look now, Door has dropped all the way back to 17th place. He's going to gain a few positions, presumably, when people have to do their pit stops, but not as many as he might have hoped. So coming through sector 1 now. King versus Jones. Realistically, King is not going to really want to let Jones pass too easily. Although, yes, he does. He leaves the door open, lets him on through. I was going to say he might want to keep a car between him and Cooper, but... Oh, that's not Cooper behind him, though, is it? That's another back marker. So many cars out of place. Within just under an hour of racing done now. Oh, kind of a 4.51 again is off the track with the yellow flag. So having no fun at all, kind of a 4.51. Jones retakes the lead with a dominating gap back to Zerbin. I think if he can just keep it clean, he should be able to hold on to the race. Although we did see last night that one of the leading Porsches actually ended up disconnecting, so let's not get too excited. I've already been kicked from the server once. Fingers crossed, that's just a little bit of a wobble on my end. The glorious joys of living in the reasonable countryside in the southwest of England. Is that the internet comes and goes with the breeze, it would seem. Zerbin definitely starting to catch up with the back of Cooper. Again, technically this is for position, but Cooper has not completed that mandatory stop. Car number 12 off that at turn 13. I think at this point, basically, if you see a yellow flag, it's gonna be turn 13. Everybody has been off there multiple times. Cooper doing a great job though, keeping that Bentley in check. He hasn't pitted yet. Those tyres have got to be fairly worn. Over an hour now. Done those tyres. Oh, car number 12 off again. And is now... Oh, I think they've left the session. Just seeing which was car number 12. Car number 12 was of Brenner. Oh, okay. So they were doing really well earlier in the race. So I'm not sure what's happened there, but they are completely out. But some of the really big names that were absolutely dominating the first half of the race, Yorkie and Dorr, both in Bentleys, have absolutely fallen from grace. They are miles behind. I think both of them got stung with drive-through penalties. So clearly the Bentley was quick, but it requires some slightly dubious track offences to keep it going that quick. It would only seem fair that the Boatley is quick in this amount of rain. So jumping on board with Ziege being chased down by Kaz Lucas. Again, that Porsche has not actually pitted yet. So again, this is a battle for a position on track, but it is not going to be as they cross the line. He has to pit at some point. In fact, that car does appear to be carrying a little bit of damage. I say a little bit, quite a lot of damage. The bonnet dented, the bumpers scuffed. Look over that back wing, looking back towards Kaz Lucas. The glorious sounding car, the Porsche. Oh, we caught a big slide, manages to hold on to it. Goodness gracious, what a big old slide that was. Waiting for the cameras to sort themselves out again as soon as we cut onto it. Having a little look at the timing board, and then immediately Ziege has a big sliding moment, and through goes Kaz Lucas. And you can see how little visibility there is. There's a car behind him, you just can't quite see it. It's not that far back either. Really not that far back at all. And immediately just vanishes into a great big plume of cloud. But I think Ziege's tyres are probably getting to the point where they're a little bit overcooked and done at this point. Wouldn't be surprised if we see him coming to the pits in one corner's time. Staying out is Ziege. Very surprised at that. But they're still putting in 143s. Though this lap's going to be a little bit down, I imagine we're probably going to see a 144. Yes, a high 144 after that incident we saw. little one going on here. Okay, James Cowley and Shirley trading positions there. The Ferrari goes through. Again, though, the Ferrari has not completed a pit stop yet, so although on pace it may be quicker, it hasn't completed a pit, and thus will be giving up a position at some point. Really impressed with the speed there of car number 510. 10 doing a fantastic job, but there you go, you can see the Aston being able to catch back up in the braking zones at the moment. Matching, if not beating, the pace of the Ferrari in front and taking a much, much tighter line. Cowley staying out again though. Couple of drivers really trying to take this to the end. You think at this point they have been driving for 65 minutes on a single tank of fuel. I think it's around usually the sort of 70 to 75 minute mark is when you really start to get low on fuel. Oh, there we go. Varric Nolo with a drive-through penalty was running in 23rd place and will see himself tumble down the order. Zerbin still doing his absolute darndest to try and hold on to the back of car number 693 of Cooper. Again, two cars in front of him are going to be completing pit stops at some point, and Zerbin will gain a position, well, two positions I would imagine, over King and Cooper. See, pre-pit stop he was well in front of those two, so no way enough time has been made. Are we going to see a move here in Sector 1? Possible move to the inside? No, decides not to. Still holding on to the back, not able to get past, but very much putting some pressure on Cooper. This is the most amount of pressure he's put on for a little while. He's got a real resurgence, trying to push forward as much as possible. Trying to hold on to the back of the Bentley though on a straight. It's going to be an absolute challenge. I say that car actually with reduced weight over its standard form at the moment. So I think a lot of drivers that always used to enjoy the Bentley are probably loving it even more now. It's a bit of a lightweight whippet compared to the great big grizzly bulldog that it was before. Again, this is one of those races where I wonder if there is a possibility where some of these drivers are just deciding that it's better to finish where they are. They've got nice big gaps around them, rather than going super aggressive and attacking, whether they're just letting the positions hold on. James Cowley still being chased down by Shirley. Again, he's going to lose the position when it comes to the pit stops. In fact, he might even lose the position here into turn 1. Shirley looks to the inside, can't get it done under braking. Somehow, the tyres on Cowley's Ferrari is still just about holding on. Again, that car has now done just shy of 70 minutes of racing with one set of tyres. The only upside to it is it's probably got absolutely no fuel left in the thing, so it's going to be super, super lightweight and nimble. But I imagine he's going to have to come in probably in the next sort of 5 minutes. Fernandez with a drive-through penalty, car number 223. Another one rolls in. We've got to be into the double figures at this point, haven't we? I'm sure we're into the double figures for the amount of drive-throughs we've seen. It was 6 earlier on. I lost count. There was so much going on all at once. At the moment, things have sort of fairly settled off. As I said, I think a lot of drivers in good positions, especially if they're battling with cars that have not pitted yet, are sort of just sticking to their spot and letting it happen. They don't want to push too hard and make mistakes. I think that is what we're seeing here from Shirley and Cowley. This is a different Shirley that we saw early in the race. We saw him earlier on making some big moves. We had a little look just a lap ago into turn 1, but it wasn't sort of definite decisive attack. It was more a case of show the nose and see what happens. Just backed off ever so slightly on this lap. The gap has increased. Oh, big move there though. Coming into turn 2, really closed up the gap. Not sure entirely what happened with Cowley. I think he had maybe just his tyres are starting to degrade quite a lot. Well, it looks like in 30 minutes the rain is going to reduce. That is about as close to improving weather as we've seen. But it doesn't matter because the race isn't long enough. But here we go. Finally, Shirley has a look to the inside. He's going to be able to get the run. That Aston Martin got a lovely amount of top end. Gets it done. No way that Ferrari can come back. Oh, does go a little bit deep though. To be fair, Shirley nearly made a mistake and actually nearly took the pair of them out. But there we go, he does manage to get it done. I think just the extra amount of speed that car was having was unexpected and maybe just did not quite get it stopped. But through, and there is no incident. That appears to be a nice clean pass, and he should be able to hang on to it unless there's an incident down at the dreaded turn 13. It has been unlucky for most as opposed to some that tonight. Looking like the two of them have made it through the dreaded 13. Yes, they have. And through 14, they have made it through the final 2 corners. And there we go. Shirley has managed to get to this position. Should gain another 2 positions over Cooper and King. So with just under 18 minutes of the race to go, if things continue as they are, it's looking like Jones is going to take the podium position, and then followed by Zerben and Iman. Those two fairly close together, but Jones has really taken an absolute strides to pull away from everyone else. You see Iman here. See Zerben up ahead. He's not out of reach completely. 17 minutes of the race left, but it's not an impossibility. Stranger things have happened at sea, and it is pretty much an ocean of water out there this evening. Nice little battle going on here, and here we go, we just caught it just in time. And Leighton Austin being taken on the inside by Dorr, but he actually manages to switch it back and retake the position. Is he going to be able to do anything here though and close the nose off? Goes a little bit defensive, but not too much, but does hang on to the position. Dorr having to get off the brakes a little bit, I think, there on the exit. So it does just about hold on to it, and they've got Zanabini in front of them, a driver who has not completed his pit stops yet. Again, as another car that has gone an absolute country mile without pitting. there we go. Zanabini finally comes into the pits. These two are now just having a straight up squabble to the finish. 15.5 minutes left to go. Dorr versus Austin. This is probably our closest battle for a proper on-track position that we've had in a little while. And there we go, little move to the inside. The door's left open, but I don't think the Bentley can get the traction down. No, he can't. Austin still managing to hold on to it, and a little bit unsettled there as he came off the racing line there for Dorr. Is he going to try and go to the inside? He looks, decides not to. We said that Dorr is looking like the aggressor here. Austin for the West Competition Racing. Looks like he's struggling a little bit towards the end of the race. Less than 15 minutes to go, and another look to the inside. Here we go, goes to the inside. Gets it done. We saw it here last lap though, and the Ferrari managed to come back, and this time the Bentley has managed to do it and is holding on to it. Fantastic little drive. Gets it done, and this is where I imagine it is now going to start pulling away quite nicely. And a bit of a squabble going on for 10th. Now this is between Ziege and Clifford. Ziege is technically out of position as he has not completed his pit stop yet. Benjamin King into the pits. Finally comes into the pits. He's running in second for what felt like an eternity and is now dropping back down the order. To be fair, Matt York is not that far behind and he is in his correct position. So King out the pits. Oh, Ziege having a bit of a problem there, ends up being a bit unsettled. Obviously wasn't expected to have to try and take a tighter line to accommodate the rejoining King. King has now gained a position, well, is now right slap bang in front of Yorkie, so this might turn out to be a bit of a decent squabble. Yorkie's going to want to try and get the tyres of his Bentley up and going. Come on, timing board. There we go, it's finally changed. So that Mercedes absolutely under temp tyres at the moment, so they'll be underinflated, under temperature. They won't be very grippy, they'll be a little bit squiffy on the brakes as well. So Matt York is going to be looking to take advantage of this and seeing what he can do. He's got Ziege in front as well. Again, as we said, Ziege is technically not in this fight as much as anyone else. Cooper coming into the pits as well, so now the top 5 are all in the battle together. Cooper drops out, so it's now just Cowley and Ziege who have not completed their pit stops. Lovely little squabble going on here, pushing on nicely. Seeing a bit of love for car number 25, and that is of Julian Guerin. Yes, we will get them up on screen shortly, don't you worry. Just waiting to see what happens here. Oh, Lima with another drive-through penalty, running in 23rd place, but obviously will drop back down. This squabble here, though, is the one to keep an eye on, I think, for a little minute or two. I don't want to cut away and then we end up missing it. The timing tools having a bit of a play. There we go, massive jump up the order, though, I think, there for that Bentley. Already looking into to the inside there against Yorkie. He's only just come out of the pits and he's already fully on the attack. Which Bentley is that? That's Cooper. Ooh, but getting unsettled there. But the two of them slow down a fair bit, and that does give a little bit of room to King, who can finally start to pull away and get those tyres at the temperature. I imagine Yorkie is probably a little bit... Ooh, what a big move up the inside. Cooper desperate for positions. Got to be careful, though. You cannot go making silly mistakes like that, braking too late when you've got fresh tyres. As we said, they're going to be underinflated, under temperature, and just entirely not going to be driving nice. Kind of a 451 again, having another incident. See the yellow flag. In a slightly different spot to normal, actually. That was down in sector 1. So let's try and get on car number 25. Let's see if this one will pop up on the screen. Should be a Lamborghini of Guerin. Here they are with the G Liga Esports Elite team. Having a bit of a race all on their own at the moment. Trying to see where the nearest car to them is. So in front of them is car number 27, who is a few corners away, and behind them is car number 45 of Shirley, who is a few corners behind. So just under 11 minutes and they can keep themselves in 4th place, but I don't think they're going to be able to push forward all the way to Ayman. Big old gap ahead, it's saying 2 seconds, but I think that is wrong. I think it is actually more than that forward to Ayman. I think it's coming up as around 8 seconds, in fact. So, yeah, somehow don't think he's going to be able to make up that time. But 4th place is certainly nothing to be sniffed at. In fact, let's have a little look and see what they were doing in the championship. So, Geirin, where have we seen? I know they're in here somewhere. Scrolling down through the big old list. Here we are. So they've had a 28th place and a 22nd place, so they'll be very, very pleased if they can finish inside the top 5. They've got a decent buffer in front and behind. No reason they can't hang on to it as long as nothing goes awry. But the way the weather's been and the fact that they're coming through turn 13, anything can happen. They did manage to make it through this time. We're going to move away before we commentators curse Geirin, and we'll keep a little bit of an eye on what's going on elsewhere. So Benjamin King again appears to be under attack. Oh, Ziege going off the track there. That car has done 80 minutes without stopping. Ziege and Cowley. Everyone else has had to come in for a pit. They have managed to somehow keep their cars going. I imagine they're running on absolute fumes. Fumes of fumes at this point. Matt York absolutely desperate to get himself inside the top 10. Oh, car number 1. That's Tadic with the yellow flag. Pushing forever forward. Yorkie now has a little look to the inside. The Bentley and the Mercedes, two very, very similar cars, to be fair. Front engined, rear wheel drive, big power units. Yorkie does look quicker, he just can't seem to find a way past King. Oh, and he slides a little bit there, trying to get the power down. It's the last thing you want. You want to be trying to put down as much power as possible without actually losing traction. At the moment, car number 65 of Yorkie is now struggling to put down the power any more than he already is. And once you lose that momentum, it takes a little while to get it back up. Once you're off the line, it takes a while to get yourself back into the groove. Obviously, the skill level here in Tier 2 is nearly the same as Tier 1. I think you do see people that win Tier 2 end up going up to Tier 1. People like Jones, people like Zerbin, people that have put in great laps. Ayman as well is actually putting the fastest lap of the race here. For the one, well, this section of the race anyway, a 1:41.1. So absolutely fantastic effort from him. Again, you can see Ziege just in front of this battle, somehow still going, under 8 minutes of the race left to go. But Ziege showing, if he keeps himself out of trouble, that he can actually hold his own with these top boys. Although I think that car is now starting to struggle. Look at the way King caught up at the back of him, and to be fair, so as well with York and Cooper as well. All three of these cars getting closer and closer together. I think very soon that Ziege is going to become the cork in the bottom. Actually, now a little look to the inside here for turn 1. Can Yorkie do anything on the brakes? He goes deep. Can he get it stopped? Yes, he does. It unsettles Benjamin King. I don't think King was expecting that at all. And Cooper now right on the back of him. And Cooper getting slightly unsettled, trying to get on the brakes. I'm not sure if he ended up having contact there with King. King unsettled as well. Cooper now goes to the inside. So Cooper is through. Can he get it done? Yes, he can. Great bit of manoeuvre there from Cooper, taking full advantage of the fact that King was put off by Yorkie's attack. And now they're through, and Yorkie has a nice little gap and is going after the back of Ziege. And it looks like that Bentley is going to be able to do something. In fact, let's jump on board with Yorkie and see what we can see. Just over, well, bang on actually, 6.5 minutes left of the race. Keep a little eye on the gap. The front battle is starting to close up. It's only 1.2 seconds between Ayman and Zerbin now. So Zerbin possibly backing off the pace a little bit. I'm not sure what's going on there, but Ayman has really, really caught up. But here we go. This is Matt York versus Ziege. He goes to the outside. He's going to try and do it. He's ended up on the wet stuff, though. He's lost a little bit of speed, and Cooper's coming flying up behind. Like an absolute rocket ship came up behind Yorkie then. It was always going to be super, super brave stuff to try and make it work around the outside there. And it just didn't quite work. The Boatley going out onto the red and white curbing. And that paint is slick as you can imagine. I mean, there's not a lot of grip on the actual circuit, let alone on that red and white paint. Oh, so there we go. The timing screen has finally sorted itself out, and actually the gaps between these drivers are actually quite ginormous. So I know I don't think that we're going to see much change at the top. So it's Mr. Jones, Zerbin, Geirin. Wait a second. Why is it showing Geirin there? What has happened to Troy Iman? Has Troy Iman just disconnected? I think Troy Iman is just disconnected. I can't seem to get him up, or he's disappeared. I didn't see why he disappeared if he has. That's car number 27. I think we have just lost Iman, possibly. Number 27. I mean, the timing board, yeah, he is gone from the timing board. So Geirin has managed to get himself up into 3rd position. It's a fantastic effort. He'll be absolutely jumping for joy for that one. And car number 25, who we had a little look at earlier on, and I said, oh, I don't think he's going to get himself on the podium. A 4th position is a great way to end it, is now in a podium position, running in 3rd place. And for whatever reason, Troy Iman has just vanished. So is that a disconnect? This late in the race as well, that is absolutely devastating. And so now it's a case of just trying to hold it together for the rest of the race. I mean, there's some serious amounts of adrenaline are probably running through the old bones there. Van Sand put the fastest lap of the race. I mean, it's been wet the entire way through, hasn't it? Ziege finally coming into the pits. So it'll be interesting to see where Ziege comes out. Because he was inside the top 10 when he pitted. It's obviously going to drop down a massive amount. But fair play for keeping that car going. And now it is just Cowley running in provisional 6th place, who has not completed their mandatory stop. I really hope that they know they haven't, because obviously if they don't do it, it is a colossal penalty at the end of the race. Cooper really on the attack, and obviously trying to take away 8th position. He's got to be careful he doesn't get too many track limit warnings. Ziege outside the top 10 now. How far will they drop? Brignolo doing their drive-through. This our closest battle at the moment. Even that sort of spread out a fair bit this time. It's looking like Dorr is within a second of someone, so we'll have a little jump on board just towards the end of the race. Here we go, chasing after the back of Romano. So this is actually 2 big members of the AOR community. Obviously Christian Romano, who is one of our commentators. Obviously Dorr, who is a coordinator, or previously been a coordinator. I'm pretty sure he is still a coordinator, but yeah. And there we go, Cowley finally comes into the pits, gets it done. But this one might go all the way to the wire. They should have this and one more lap to go. Just seeing where Mr. Jones is. That's car number 9. Where on the circuit is Jones? Just about to cross the line. Oh, actually no, this might be their final lap, because Jones is no way he's going to get another lap in. So this is going to be the final lap for Jones, coming across the line in just a second. So this is also now turning into the final lap for these two. So Dorr's got only a few corners to get it done. Board. Can he get it done here? Don't think he is. Turn 8. He is closing in. Imagine Christian will be very, very pleased after last week, where I think it was a DNF for him. He'll be very happy to be just outside the top 10. It's been an absolutely fantastic drive by him. Equally, Dorr had an amazing sort of first 3 quarters of the race, and then with that drive-through penalty, you know, he just went back into the pits. I can't remember why. I'd love to know why. I'm going to try and find out for next week as to why Dorr had a second pit stop, because I didn't see a drive-through penalty there. So my only thought is that maybe he chose the wrong tyres. It's easy to do. Might have accidentally applied a set of slick tyres as opposed to wets. Or maybe sort of made a mistake with fueling, maybe not put enough fuel in. It does happen from time to time. It's very easy to make mistakes. You're doing all of it in-house when you're doing this. So these guys coming across the line. Oh no, maybe they will get to go another lap. They should get to go again. Car number 9. I don't think they're going to make it to the line before the timer runs to 0. This should be Mr. Jones bringing it home. Yes, time goes to 0. Mr. Jones comes across the line. And there we go. First place goes to Mr. Jones. Zerbin is going to come flying across the line very, very soon. One corner left to go for Zerbin. Zerbin comes across the line, and let's see if the game will let us go across to Geirin. Yes, they will. Geirin with an absolutely fantastic drive this evening gets himself up into 3rd place, although already the 2nd place is already left the sofa. As I always love to see, people quitting out immediately as soon as the race is over. Oh, look at that. In the future, half an hour's time when the race is already done, then it's going to dry up. But absolutely fantastic drive by everyone this evening. Mr. Jones, absolutely fantastic. Zerbin, absolutely great drive as well. And Geirin, lots and lots of really good drives out there this evening. Hopefully, going to get some post-race word. There we go. Iman confirming that, yes, he did actually get a server disconnect. Devastating for him. Come on, timing board. Change for me. See if we can get these guys coming across the line. It's Dora and Romano. They're still out there battling. And for some reason, the timing board just will not let me look. They've come across the line. So Romano did hold on to the position over Dor. Great effort from everyone involved this evening. It's been an absolutely fantastic race. I think we can all agree that that was a really, really good race. Hopefully, we've got the whole race saved on a replay. If not, that'll be a little bit disappointing. Goodness minutes, 90 minutes of racing all done. Fingers crossed some our podium drivers might want to come in. I'm really hoping they are. Absolutely fantastic race. It was all over the place. Let's have a little look at the timetables and see what positions people were in. So Mr. Jones qualified in 1st, stayed in 1st the whole way through. Zerbin obviously came across the line in 2nd, gained a position over Bart Raven. And then whereabouts was Geirin? Geirin started down in 15th place. What an absolutely fantastic drive. I would really love it if Geirin was willing to come and join us for a little chat. That is absolutely stunning drive from those 3 drivers. Fantastic effort. I mean, everyone out there managing to survive the absolutely ridiculous amounts of rain. For a little while, I thought it was going to go worse than it did, but actually it turned out to be pretty fantastic. Looking at it, I'm not sure we are going to end up having anyone else come to join us, which is a bit of a shame, but it does sometimes happen. It's, you know, it can be a bit scary for some people to come and join us. So hopefully going to come and join, but not sure. We'll see if we can add a few of these people. So it is Jones. See if we can find Jones. Jones. Mr. Jones. Yeah, we'll pester him. And also it was Zerbin as well. This is the moment where it turns out that people haven't got the same names in Discord as they do in here. So hopefully going to get them in. Bit of a shame if we can't. It's been a really, really good race, and I imagine they'll be probably quite pleased to talk about it, but might be a case of that, no, they're not. We obviously did see that a couple of the drivers immediately quit out from the server, so that'll be a bit of a shame. We're going to cut across to a slightly more aesthetically pleasing screen just for a minute or two then. just while we hold on in hopes that someone will come and join us. Although I think probably the boat has passed. And we will just give a shout out once again to our top 3 drivers, Zerbin, Jones, and Gairin. Fantastic drive from them this evening. So thank you ever so much for joining us. If you were in the chat, thank you for getting involved. Always appreciated. Always do my best to try and keep an eye on it. So don't be shy. Get involved in the chat and let us know. And then also, a big shout out to our sponsors once again. We will be running the intro/outro video in just a moment, so you can get a quick refresh on them. But also sign up and join us at Apex Online Racing. There's a link to the Discord in the what do you want to call it? Description below. But thank you ever so much for joining us, and I think we're going to call it a night for now. It's been a brilliant race, and I will see you back here on Monday in Tier 1, and then again on Tuesday. Thank you for joining.
This Noah's Ark 2x2 formation. Road change now. We go racing for the first time this season. 3 hours of GT action. It's go.
This is very tight as they come down. Group of cars coming in. This has all got trouble written all over it. This is G3 cars.
Drop downhill. They head towards the Aqua Minerale. Imola, of course. There's another one off through the gravel. As wide as possible as they drop downhill to the back from the inside line. Yes!